Hello everybody, welcome back. Mulibwanji, Mulishani, Mulioli, Mulibuti and everything else. My name is Olipa. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for clicking on this video, and if you are new here, please make sure to subscribe, like and share. So guys, I have exciting news. I finally hit my 500 subscribers. This was my goal for last year, but I hit it this year, and that's still okay. I'm super excited, and I want to say thank you to all of you because you have made it happen for me. Thank you, and I love you so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So I don't know if you can tell from my voice, but I currently have a cold. Like, I'm down with a cold right now, and I feel like I have been hit by a bus. Everything is aching on my body. No, I don't have COVID, but it's just a common cold, and I feel really sick. So please forgive me if I'm like a little bit aloof here and there. But the show must go on, right? I was just like, no, I still have to create the content. I still have to post the content. I had already planned it, so I'm like, no, I just have to do it. So in this video, we're going to talk about budgeting tips. So these are tips that would be helpful for people who have like a pretty small income, or who seem to have more expenses than their income. This is something that is going to help you to be able to navigate around those kinds of situations. So let's get right into it. So tip number one is to make sure to build a budget that works for you. So first things first, a budget. What's a budget? You are basically writing down your expenses, and this is against your income. So you know that I'm going to have 200 kwacha coming in at the end of this month, and you have to write what are your expenses, what are the things you have to pay, and you need to make sure to put them in categories. So there are reoccurring expenses, things like maybe your rent or data maybe, or food. Those are the expenses that you cannot absolutely get rid of, and they come around every single time you get a paycheck, whether it's monthly, weekly, but I know mostly in Zambia we get paid monthly. So those are expenses that you will need to foot every month. So make sure to have those expenses there, but you should always make sure that your budget is not going to stress you out. Build a budget that works for you. Don't try to be too extravagant, or don't try to fit in too many expenses that your budget is not going to be able to accommodate. If you find that those expenses that seem to be reoccurring, or that seem to be necessities, are more than what you can actually handle in your budget, it means you need to sit down and reanalyze, revisit, refocus, and believe you me, there are a lot of things you can either cut down on or completely remove. Just chuck them out, because at the end of the day, they are stressing you. And then tip number two is to be flexible but strict. And this is something that has come in so handy for me. So handy. Because this one actually falls more on the expenses that may not be completely reoccurring every month. It's important that you're able to be flexible in terms of saying, okay, so I need to buy, let's say for an example, I need to buy a dress, a beautiful dress, and I need to save for this dress. You need to be able to allocate that in your budget. So you should be able to know, to say, if I need 2 months or 3 months to save for this budget, or if I just need the 1 month for this particular dress, you need to be able to put it into your budget and also be able to remove it after you have bought the dress, without it without you sacrificing all the other vital stuff. That is where flexibility comes in. Be flexible with yourself. You need to be able to see the things that you need in the short term, in the long term, and also be strict. That means when you have written down your budget, when you have written down for your budget for the month, it cannot change. The flexibility only comes in when you are budgeting. The process of budgeting, because I don't know if you don't do this, actually maybe you should also take this as a tip. You should make sure you have your budget before your money comes in. So before that income is actually in, make sure you have budgeted for that money. And when budgeting, be as flexible as you need to be. But when you have budgeted and when the money comes in, strict. You are not changing what you've budgeted for. No matter what comes up, if it was not budgeted for, you don't have money for it. Very, very important. Number 3 is to make sure you have goals and review them. Now, I know many people are like, what? Even when it comes to budgeting and finance and money, we should have goals. Yes, you must have goals. You should know what exactly you want to achieve with the money that you have. A lot of people now, there are a lot of people now who are talking about saving. It's like all the rage. You need to save, you need to save, you need to save. And I will tell you for a fact, saving is awesome. It's great, but it's very difficult to save when you are on a tight budget. It's very difficult to save when you earn a very low income or your income is much less than your expenditure or your expenses. It becomes super difficult to save. But if it is your goal, you need to be as realistic as possible in terms of how much you expect yourself to save and what you're going to do with the money that you actually save. So you need to make sure that you have goals and you are able to review your goals. My tip number 4, and this is probably my favorite part of it's my favorite part of my budgeting. I really enjoy this part, is to make sure to pay yourself. So many people don't realize that when you get your salary from work, because you have so many things that you have to pay, so many people that you have to pay, you forget to pay yourself for your hard work. Make sure to pay yourself. Have a percentage, a small percentage that is reasonable for you. If it's 5%, it's fine. 10%, 20% out of your salary that you take for yourself. This is the money that you are spending on yourself. This is money you are like, this is a treat for me. I'm going to buy some ice cream. I'm going to see a movie, or this is money for yourself. The money you don't need to feel guilty about spending, the money that you know that I worked hard for this. Make sure to pay yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Do it. And number 5 is save loose change. This is a trick that a lot of people miss out on. You know how I'm literally from talking about how everybody is talking about saving and stuff like that. Saving is very difficult when you don't have a lot of money. When you don't have money, saving is so difficult. But you can save from all the loose change. You plan to spend, let's say if you spend 200 kwacha on your transport fare to go to work every week and come back from work. And that particular week, for whatever reason, maybe you got a lift from a friend, or you probably didn't go to work, you fell ill or something like that, and instead of spending 200 kwacha, you find that you have spent 170 kwacha and you have 30 kwacha left over. Do not rush to spend that money. Do not rush to use it on the next splurge that you have. That is the money that you're going to take and save. Yeah, so make sure to save that little change. Even if it's a 5 kwacha, save it somewhere. Have mechanisms that you're going to be able to save. If it's your mobile money, if you're going to have like a piggy bank, which everybody does, if you're going to have a separate bank account, do that. Those little changes, they go a long way. When you've been saving your 3 kwachas, your 10 kwachas, at the end of the month, at the end of 6 months, you realize that is actually a lot of money. So that is a tip for you to be able to save without it being such a burden on your budget. Number 6, you need to be able to live minimally and be content. You guys, I think we have heard and seen this so many times. Even the richest of the richest people don't move around flashing, all sorts of stuff and whatnot. There is a time and place for that. Of course, there's a time when you should look the part, you should be the part and whatnot. But it's not necessary that you go beyond your means. Who are you trying to impress? Listen, the people you want to impress don't even care. That's one thing you should know. They don't even care. Be content with what you have. Work within your means. Live within your means. And that right there is going to be the tip that moves you from where you are to the next level. Because after that, it's like, okay, bro, you are now succeeding at being like financially secure and being wise with your money. And that is, I feel like, honestly, for me, that is been the most important tip. When you are not content, no matter how much money you get, or no matter how good you may be at budgeting, you find that you always throw out your budget because your friend suddenly comes up and says, oh, listen, we've got a trip to wherever, and then you feel like, okay, if I don't make this trip, I'm going to look like a loser. I'm going to be the only one. It's okay to be the loser sometimes. It's okay to be home in your pajamas. It's okay. It's fine. You're not gonna die. Okay? So those are my 6 tips on how to budget more effectively, and I hope they're going to be helpful for you. If you have any other tips that you use in your budgeting, I would really love to hear them. So please make sure to comment down below and tell me some of your budgeting tips, and see you next time. Bye.